go. Harry Douglas has flown all the way up. Kmart's ready to go. D. Wood ready to go. We've got college in the hopper as well. Plenty to get to this morning, but we start with all 32 NFL teams now officially in training camp. So we're going camping as well. Let's show you some of the best pictures from yesterday. D. Wood, this is Josh Allen to Keon Coleman. A little touchdown action in the preseason training camp. Is this the year finally Josh Allen and the Bills get over the top?
Did Patrick Mahomes retire? No, okay. I'm going with Mahomes right here. The Kansas City Chiefs are better this year. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
Hello. I'm confident that if Mahomes had retired, I would have led with it. So I don't think so. Kmart, let's go to the Giants camp. How about Russell Wilson to Malik Neighbors? If I told you the Giants are going to be much better than most people are projecting, would you laugh at me?
Most people project, yeah, I don't think they're going to be very good. I think their defense has improved. I think Russell, I expect him and Neighbors to have a good relationship and good production. But have you seen their schedule? Yeah, I think it's still going to be tough sledding for the Giants.
Schedule is tough, and part of it is the division. Let's stay in the division. Harry, let's look at Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. When last seen healthy, these two guys were tearing up the league. Will this offense return to that kind of form?
1,000%, like a baby needs a bottle, Greeny. And the last time we seen Dak Prescott in his greatest form, it was third in the National Football League in passing with over 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, and just 9 interceptions. The Dak attack is back.
And we'll see just how good it winds up looking. If you want to hear confidence, let me play you CeeDee Lamb yesterday. Extremely confident about what this Dallas offense is going to be this season, sending out a warning to the entire NFL.
I feel like the league knows what happens when I'm healthy and I have Dak for a whole season. But if you don't, I will happily show you what it's going to be like this year. Honestly, I'm a dominant receiver. I don't like to speak highly of myself, but I can't wait to show you guys.
Okay,
I'm the best you ever seen, but I ain't going to say too much. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm the best.
May I just say,
Yeah.
wide receivers are my favorite people in the entire world. Because in consecutive seconds or sentences that were not divided even by a breath, he said, I'm a dominant receiver. I don't like to speak too highly of myself.
Well, and I love everything about CeeDee Lamb, and I love that confidence because to play that position, to walk around with that pizzazz, you have to feel like that about yourself.
D-Wood.
Very different from offensive linemen.
Yes, like the offensive line is polar opposites. But you know what? I love it, though. I love that.
Let me show you just how good these guys were when last they were together. 2023, the last time Dak stayed healthy. He had a career season. He was the first Cowboys quarterback since Roger Staubach to lead the league in passing touchdowns. And CeeDee, you see the numbers, 136 catches, 1,749 yards, 12 touchdowns, both top 3 in the league. So you said this offense is going to be that kind of dangerous, but are they going to be pass heavy this season?
I don't believe they can be pass heavy. And the reason why I say that, Greeny, when you look at 5 of the 7 teams that made the playoffs last year in the NFC, they were top 6 in rushing. So you want that balanced attack, and that's the beauty part about having Brian Schottenheimer. He did that, D-Wood, when he was your coach with the New York Jets, back when the last time they made the playoffs. He did that in Seattle. This offense has to be balanced in order for them to get to where they want to be when it's all said and done.
You played for Schotty. He just pointed it out.
Yeah.
That offense with the Jets. Now, it was vastly different. You had a rookie quarterback rather than an experienced and outstanding veteran in Dak Prescott. But what do you expect this offense to look like under Schottenheimer?
I think it's going to be totally different what we saw with Mike McCarthy. You know, where Mike McCarthy was static, you're going to see a lot of motions. You're going to see a lot of different formations. You're going to see shotgun. You're going to see pistol. You're going to see all the different variety. And here's the one last thing I'm going to say. His dad was Marty.
Yes.
Marty Ball.
Right.
Running the football. You're going to see a lot of that in Dallas. Like, as much as we talk about Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they're going to run the football.
How about them Cowboys, Kmart?
Dare I say, kind of love them Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know why? Because for the first time, it feels like we're going to talk about the Cowboys all season long because they will be one of the more intriguing teams. I don't think we're sleeping on them. I think we're looking at a team that has the potential to be a great offense, but we also know there are question marks. Can you stop the run? Can you run the ball? Those are still going to be paramount to their success. But if you're not excited about George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, one of the most dynamic, outstanding wide receivers we have. I don't want to.
He doesn't like to talk.
I don't want to speak too much about that. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. But But this is why they're exciting, not for the off-the-field stuff. We have plenty of time to talk about Jerry and Mike and all that, but this offense and this roster is intriguing.
That's part of the reason that I was so frustrated. If you were with us yesterday with all of the nonsense going on with Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons, I actually found myself 100%, if not 1,000% on Micah's side, which for me is not usually the case. Because the reason it frustrates me is that it does seem to be taking away from a team that I think has a chance to be so much better than the projection. Vegas is giving them 7.5 wins, D. Wood. I mean, Dak Prescott gets that rolling out of bed.
Well, I just want to know, Green, why are you so frustrated?
That's the reason, because why are we – I feel like any energy that at this moment distracts or detracts from what we should be doing at the beginning of training camp, where everyone's spirits are high. You got Micah Parsons seeking out reporters. You got Trayvon Diggs standing next to him like his hype man, like firing him up to be like, yeah, TJ Watt got paid, and Myles Garrett got paid, and all these guys got paid. Why the hell are you not paying me for? And all of us are sitting here going, you know, he's right. Why the hell are they not paying him for? I feel like that, I don't know if it'll wind up hurting them this season, but it can't help, and there's no reason for it.
Here's what I want to say. This is what I know about the Dallas Cowboys. Number one, they pay their stars.
Right.
We paid 2 off seasons ago. We were literally every day talking about, when is Dak going to get paid? When is Dak going to get paid? And then he got paid when? The day of the opener against the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, Jerry loves this, Greeny.
Yeah.
Greeny, you've been in this business long enough to know Jerry eats this up. He eats up when he has these press conferences and they have all this drama with Micah and now, Trayvon. He eats this up because ultimately Jerry's the ultimate marketer.
Greeny's point about why are we talking about very simple contract stuff where you got to pay Micah when Jerry could be at the podium saying, CeeDee, George Pickens, you better watch out for us.
Yeah.
We are a Super Bowl caliber team with the roster that I've built.
Because that's not in his DNA.
Yeah.
That's right.
You think Jerry Jones didn't just see the Los Angeles Lakers get sold for $10 billion? And the Cowboys right now are worth 10.1? Oh, we got to up the ante. The Lakers are close to us? Oh, no, we got to up the ante. Jerry Jones sees all these things.
He needs to stop programming the A block and get up and start getting his best players signed. In the meantime, let's talk about the team that I think has the most pressure of any as this season gets started. Joe Burrow's Bengals reported for camp. He was not impressed with what he saw on the field yesterday. When asked about how the first practice went, this is what Burrow had to say.
Poorly.
Why do you think that was why was that the case?
That's just usually how it goes. For the first day, we got a lot to clean up, but we got a lot of time, so.
Does that usually go poorly the first day? Like we can't have
offense usually starts out slow.
1,000%.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
It's one thing to start out slow in late July. It's another thing to start out slow in early September, and that's what the Bengals seem to do well. Kmart, what did you say to me this morning about Cincinnati?
They are the only team in the NFL where it seems like at the end of September, we're wondering if they 1-11 in the first 2 weeks of the season throughout his career. Like under Zach Wilson, under Zach Taylor, different Zach. They're the only team in the NFL where by September we're wondering, are their playoff chances already done? And that's surprising because they have such a talented quarterback in Joe Burrow. He said, we've got time to clean it up. They really don't have time to fix this offense, get Trey Hendricks in the fold, and start fast. That is what they need.
And you were telling me this morning, Harry, about the significance of their schedule. If you look at it, they need, if you want to fancy yourself a championship team, which I think they do, they need to start this season 2-0.
1,000%. The first week is versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, AFC North matchup is always going to be tough for every team in that division, but you play Jacksonville in week 2. It's imperative that they start 2-0. They missed the playoffs last season in 2024 because of the slow start. You can't afford. Look at their next 5 games after week 2. At the Vikings, at the Denver Broncos, at home versus Detroit, Green Bay, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. All quality teams that all have dreams and aspirations of winning an NFL championship in 2025. So for Joe Burrow, for Zach Taylor, for everyone else in the Bengals organization, you must start fast this season.
Something seems to happen with them almost every year, right? Where there was a year that Burrow had a calf, and there was a year he had like an appendix or whatever it was that he had in there. And they have a variety of other injuries, and now they've got this Trey Hendrickson situation where the team is practicing and he's sitting on a beach in Jacksonville. And again, Do these things, they don't count, but they matter, as my buddy Stink used to say. Like every little tiny bit of energy needs to be going in the right direction in late July. And in Cincinnati, it feels like it's already not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone wants to have momentum going into the training camp. And if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, I'm sure Zach Taylor has probably been talking about this all offseason. What can I do? What can I do from a coaching standpoint or organizational standpoint to kind of rectify what's been going on the past few years? And he spoke on it about maybe playing Joe Burrow more in the preseason. They have to do something to shake the tree in Cincinnati to get this thing going.
Do we like that? Do we like playing Burrow more? He did say that, and I should have mentioned it earlier. He did say they plan to use Burrow more in the preseason. Do we like that?
I love it because the last 3 seasons have told us that we got to do something differently. And another reason why I love it is when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is the standard from the quarterback position. Andy Reid is the best coach in the NFL. Well, if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and those guys can go out there and play in the preseason when they've been to 5 Super Bowls in the last 6 years and won 3 of them, why can't everyone else in the NFL?
So once again, no one knows this AFC North better than you do, Kimberly Martin. What is your sense of the Bengals as they begin what feels like, I don't want to say it's a make or break season. When you have Joe Burrow, you're going to be good forever, but it feels important.
Since Joe Burrow said, listen, my Super Bowl window is open as long as I'm playing, it is make or break considering their division, considering Lamar Jackson is in that division and the Ravens. Plus you have Josh Allen in the AFC, the fact that this is a team that always starts slow, the fact that they were right there at the Super Bowl and they lost. They are too talented on offense, questions on defense. Trey Hendrickson, at this point, he's in Florida. He's not practicing, can lose $50,000 a day. It just seems like too much. Their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, not there, not even signed. So there's a lot of things with the Bengals that take away from the fact that we should be talking about them as though they have a Super Bowl caliber roster.
The slow start is what knocked them out last year. The New York Giants, would they go with Russell Wilson or would they give their rookie Jackson Dart a chance when camp opened yesterday? The head coach, Brian Daboll, basically squashed any doubt immediately about who will start the season.
Yeah, like I said, these guys will be out here competing, but Russ is our starter. He's a guy who's done it for a long time. He's got a lot of experiences. He's been in a number of systems. He's played a lot of football. He's seen a lot of things.
So we're going to use that to set up today's edition of Would You Rather. D. Wood, would you rather name the starter at the beginning of training camp? And he actually used the word competing and then said that the competition is already over. But would you rather the coach name, in a situation like this, name the starter right away? Or let the thing play out over the course of the entire camp in preseason?
Usually I would say let it play out in training camp. That's usually where the battle is won. But I'm assuming that Brian Daboll watching all spring, it was very apparent that Russell Wilson was a clear-cut number 1, and that's why he named him starter. But usually I would say just wait it out. Let training camp determine who's going to be the starter because nothing is accomplished in shorts.
Why do you look so skeptical, Kimberly?
I'm always skeptical of Damien because as a reporter, when we're in the locker room asking if there's any sort of quarterback questions, we ask the players. I remember going up to Damien locker room asking questions like, what do you think? How's the rookie? Da-da-da. And players, coaches get annoyed when it's like, why do you keep asking? We'll play it out. This ends any doubt for right now. And have you looked at their schedule? Weeks 1 and 2, they start off with their division rivals, Washington and then the Cowboys. And then, look, guess what? Kansas City and Mount Mahomes. I don't want to see a rookie facing that to start off. Russ has the experience, and it doesn't mean Russ will be the starter the entire season.
I will say, I remember a time when Russell Wilson won the job in training camp and was a starter on opening day, his rookie against Matt Flynn. So I'm just saying, that's all I'm saying.
So I would say this. I love the simple fact that Brian Daboll eliminated any gray area. So that offensive line, those wide receivers, those tight ends, those running backs, everybody, they understand and know who is the starting quarterback going into training camp. There's no, man, what if it's, Jackson Dart? What if it's Jameis Winston? What if it's Russell Wilson? No, we know who the starting quarterback is. Plus, I look at that schedule. Let that young pup get acclimated to the NFL. Give him an opportunity to learn how to be a pro because trying to keep up with Jaden Daniels and also Dak Prescott in that offense, that could be pretty daunting as well, too.
I really believe the Giants, if their offensive line were to stay healthy, have a much better team than people realize. The roster is sneaky, not terrible. But the schedule, I mean, I was going to say it's sneaky. I think people think they're one of the worst teams in the league, talent-wise. I don't necessarily think that's true.
They have talent.
They have talent, but we just had it on the screen. They literally have the hardest schedule of any team in the NFL, and it starts with that murderer's row right off the top.
Can I say this about the Giants, though?
Yeah, go.
Their best player on offense is who?
Malik Neighbors.
From a receiver standpoint, you want to know something that's annoying? Not knowing who my starting quarterback is.
So now he knows.
Yep.
And that'll work out well, and Russell will find a way to get on the ball and let Russ cook, and then eventually they will get to the rookie if and when the time comes. I want to get to the next quarterback situation. Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis enters training camp dealing with a shoulder. Colts GM Chris Ballard is being patient with the third-year quarterback's progression.
Do you think people regret Baker Mayfield's timeline? Sam Darnold's timeline? Sometimes you got to have a little patience with a guy and let them grow through things. If you think, hey, he's on the right trajectory, why are you going to flush him just because people outside think you should flush him? I don't agree with that. I think we need to give Anthony every chance to be the best he can be.
People on the outside?
Who wants to point out the absolute, utter, sheer ridiculousness of them saying we need to be patient when Anthony Richardson, when what they did was they drafted a player who everyone knew, literally every evaluator said needs time, needs to sit, needs to wait and learn, and they couldn't wait to race him out there and start him week one when he was so obviously not ready, and people watching it who've never even played the sport could see he wasn't ready, and all he was doing was putting himself in harm's way, and now they're preaching patience, which parenthetically is the right thing to do in this circumstance. The question is, where was this 2 years ago?
Well, that's why I started laughing when I heard Chris Ballard in that piece right there, that soundbite that we just heard. Here's the thing. When I look across the NFL, right, and you see some of the dynamic quarterbacks in the league today and some of the most highest paid ones, those guys had an opportunity to sit and let that chicken bake a little bit. When I look at Jordan Love, when I look at Patrick Mahomes, when I look at Jalen Hurts, Michael Penix Jr., Justin Herbert, all of these guys had the ability to sit first and then become the starting quarterback. What the Colts did was, I think, organizational malpractice, understanding that this young man at the University of Florida didn't have a ton of starts, and you thrusted him into playing, and now you're trying to backtrack what you did early on. But I do believe he has more time. This guy's 6'4", 245 pounds, y'all. He just turned 23 in May. So he does have time, in my opinion.
You can't help me from the cold tub. And that's really the bottom line when it comes to Anthony Richardson. He has all the talent in the world, but he's injured all the time. You know, you talked about the 6'4", 250, but he's always injured.
Yeah.
And so if I'm a veteran on the team, I need a guy that I can depend on every single week that's going to be there. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. Who can I depend on that's going to be out there on the field?
Here's what's frustrating hearing it, because I was there in Ballard's office when the day before they drafted Richardson. And I asked him, what are you looking for in this quarterback? And he said the fact that they hadn't gotten somebody, he hadn't found the guy since Luck, really pained him, and it was really frustrating. He said, the guy that I need needs to come in and not be Superman. He just needs to run this offense. And I said, oh, they're taking Richardson, but they have a plan. They're going to be patient. And that plan, they've benched him. They start him right away. He got hurt. So when you talk about he's not available, I would say he shouldn't have even been out there. So I like the patience. I would rather know what I have in Anthony Richardson than turn to Dan. If he's healthy week one, I would rather start him because I got to know what I have.
Better, worse, or the same? Hey, Kimberly Martin. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders made it to the NFC Championship game last season. Will they be better, worse, or the same?
All right, I know it's crazy to think that they could be better based off of the season Jaden Daniels had, but I'm going to say they're going to be better because I think Jaden Daniels will actually be in the MVP conversation this year. They got Deebo Samuel, but to me the key is Terry McLaurin. I think this is a good offense, and Jaden's just going to keep skyrocketing.
He should have been in the MVP conversation last year. I'm with you. Harry, let's go to the Packers. Jordan Love in Green Bay coming off an 11-win season. Better, worse, or the same?
Greeny, I'm going better. Number one, I believe Jordan Love is going to learn how to, number one, protect the football early on and eliminate the boneheaded plays. Learn how to make deposits in the bank, take the check down, throw the football away when things aren't there. But also the receivers are going to catch the ball a little bit better. That's what they get paid to do. And that defense that's now led by Jeff Hafley, their defensive coordinator, that front seven is going to be ferocious.
We're going to talk more about them a little later. D. Wood, let's get to the defending champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. They wound up with the trophy. Are they going to be better this year, worse, or the same?
I'm going to go worse. I mean, it's hard to really get any better than how they played last year. You talk about Kellen Moore moving on to become the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. You got a first-year play caller in Kevin Patullo, guys that graduated the program on the defensive side of football via free agency. There's some change going on in Philadelphia. We got to see how these guys react.
There are a lot of things I like. How they react, I think, is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of things I've liked coming out of their camp. They are the reigning champions, as you know. But don't tell that to Jalen Hurts, and don't tell that to Jordan Mailata. They are done basking in the glow of their accomplishments.
I've moved on. Moved on to the new year. You know, it's as simple as that.
Whatever we did last year, yeah, it's in the rearview mirror, and it doesn't matter anymore. We're not defending nothing. We're not the defending champs. We're the 2024 world champs. That's it. We're not defending. Sorry, we're not. So I don't like hearing like, oh, we're the defending champions. We're not defending nothing. We just won the title, and now we got to go win it again.
All right. First and foremost, it just sounds so much better with the accent.
It's so good, so good.
But you like that approach.
Not Greeny, I didn't like it. I loved it. I loved it because, you know, Bill Belichick used to tell us one year team is every year is totally different.
Right.
Each team is totally different. Last year's team is last year. You leave it to last year. It has nothing to do with the following year. And I love, and you could tell that this message came from up high. This came from the head coach, because when you have multiple guys saying the same thing, you know what the message is very clear. We got to leave the past in the past.
It came from even higher than that. It came from the highest source there is. Jalen Hurts went to talk to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling. And that's how you find out about defending champions, right? Michael didn't two-peat, he three-peated twice.
Yes.
And so this obviously, I wasn't in the conversation, though I would have liked to have been, but this obviously came out is what came from it. You have to put the past in the past. You are starting from zero as you begin a new season.
Here's what I love about the Eagles. The fact that they last went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Chiefs. Jalen Hurts played spectacularly. But the following season, you're thinking, oh, they're going to pick up right where they left off. And instead, they got embarrassed by the Bucs in the first round of the playoffs. I think that season, that 2023 season, actually is sort of the impetus for this reaction now. Yes, winning was great, but a lot of these players, Devontae Smith talked about, he's like, yeah, I winning the Super Bowl was great, but you almost hate losing more than you love winning, and that's what's different about these guys.
Hey, D. Wood, you had a great show yesterday, but guess what? No one gives a damn. Rent is due today.
That's right.
Rent is due every single day, and that's the mindset that the Philadelphia Eagles, they actually have, from coaching staff all the way to players, to the trainers, to the groundskeepers at their football fields, because if you don't have that mindset, then you're going to get complacent. Comfortability drives complacency. And when you're uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, in which we see this football team now is, because they're not just satisfied with winning the Super Bowl last season, they moved on. Hey, what's in that rearview mirror? Sometimes you got to knock that thing down and throw it away. It doesn't matter.
It's so interesting because there was this big controversy is probably too strong a word, but people got all crazy when Scotty Scheffler, the golfer, trust me, I will tie this all together last week, was talking about how sometimes you win and you say, is that all there is? Because you're just on to the next thing.
Yeah.
On Mike and Mike, I used to say there should be a mandatory smelling the roses time.
Yeah.
Like after you win, they should just designate.
That's
no
not
one
how-
can do anything, so you could just stop. I understand that.
High
The world
achievers
doesn't
aren't
work
like
that
that.
way. No, I get it. But what I'm saying is you work yourself to death from July until February. You climb the mountain, you win the championship, you accomplish your wildest childhood dreams, and then the first thing they tell you is you need to forget that completely. You need to practically pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive, I think, to the way the human psyche works, but it is, I think, the best way to try and win back-to-back championships.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I think that's why, athletes are just wired differently, because we understand the challenges from year to year to go out there. You accomplish something so special, whether it's winning a Super Bowl or, putting on a green jacket, all those type of things. But now you got to reset, because it doesn't matter what you did at that point in time. You're facing a whole new set of challenges. And again, that message was preached by Nick Sirianni to the whole team. Like, we got to move on.
And it gets harder because while you can forget you're the defending champs, every team on your schedule remembers you're the defending champs, right? So for every team, when they play you, that's their Super Bowl.
We're coming for you.
Right.
That's what every last one of them is saying. And they have one in their own division in the Washington Commanders. Yes. And you have a team in the Los Angeles Rams, who I have second in the NFC, right? who felt like they should have beat you at home in the snow.
Sound off here. We're flying around. We will cover every team in the NFL practically by the time these 2 hours are done. The Patriots are next. Their quarterback Drake May entering his sophomore season, talking about his team's mentality going into camp.
I think you got guys around here that are tired of losing around here, and the guys that want to win. I think that's what excites me most. We guys want to win around here. I think the past 2 or 3 years around here, and the past year for me, I can only speak for myself, but I think there's guys around here that are tired of losing and want to win.
I think there's been a lot of losing going on in New England. They've had losing seasons 3 consecutive years, longest by the franchise since back in the early 90s. But ESPN Bet loves them. This is one of the win totals that jumps off the page. If you go on the app, their win total is 8.5. That's more than twice the number of wins they had last year. They went 4-13. They're plus 145 to make the playoffs. So ESPN Bet buys into the Patriots. Do you, Harry Douglas?
1,000%. Do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if you see the New England Patriots in the playoffs this season. The schedule is set up favorable in their favor, but also I love that Mike Vrabel is coming back. He's a no-nonsense guy, all about business, physicality, win the line of scrimmage on offense and defense. They revamped the offensive line, but they got Drake May weapons, Greeny. They went out and got a Stephon Diggs. I love rookie wide receiver Kyle Williams. I think he's going to be a player that really is dynamic for them. And being in Josh McDaniels' system, he's also going to tailor good when it comes to that offensive system as well. So I like this team, what they did defensively as well. When you have 2 number 1 corners, you went out and got Carlton Davis, and you have Christian Gonzalez, and then you go and revamp that defensive line as well, don't be surprised if the New England Patriots make the playoffs in 2025.
And all I hear from people is how impressed they were with Drake May last year. For considering what their record was, considering how bare the cupboard was, if you will, in terms of talent around him, everyone I talk to thinks he played great.
He did. Like, as the season went on, he just got better and better. And you talk about the cover being bare. He might have been in the worst situation of all those first-round quarterbacks that were drafted last year. I think the most underappreciated, the most underrated addition to New England, Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is going to do wonders for the New England Patriots on offense, and being able to work with this kid Drake May right here, man, I am bullish on the New England Patriots.
Can I give you a second one? A second most underrated pickup? Travion Henderson at the running back position from Ohio State.
Yeah.
He can do it in the run game and also in the pass game.
Super fast, unbelievable, sort of like a bit of a Jahmyr Gibbs kind of style, change of pace running back.
I think Josh McDaniels is back where he belongs, and Mike Vrabel, you saw in Tennessee, he was able to get that team to win more games than their roster talent-wise may have allowed. I think he is a good dude in that situation for them, and Drake May, I think he'll be pretty good too.
Look, McDaniels is an elite offensive coordinator. Sometimes we get we define people in the wrong ways. Because he didn't have success as a head coach, we say, okay, well, we write him off. He's an elite offensive coordinator. Yes. He's working with, I think, an elite head coach in Mike Vrabel, who brings some of that Patriot magic back, if you will, maybe without some of the downsides of it. The Patriots do look like a dangerous team.